Yo, give me meat, leanest in the street, trimming off the fat like a butcher on the beat. The butcher from the beat. See me in the city, but I moved to the burbs and left the ass on South Whitney. 0 fucks given, 666 winning. Money in the black and my shoes all fitting. Crew all clicking like ping pong. No, we don't sing songs. Everybody else is a ding dong.
Good morning, fellow Connecticutans, and this is Ben Grimm here with a special announcement that yes, Connecticut is still fucking cold. We're almost out of the dark, reaching into the light that is known as April. What's up, everybody? I have an awesome podcast here today. I will tell you all about it in almost 1 minute once I get past this first announcement. This episode of the podcast is brought to you by D. McKelly's Barbershop and Emporium, located at 6 Kirby Road in Cromwell, Connecticut, exit 21 off of I-91. D. McKelly specializes in all types of men's haircuts and hot shaves. Services are available by appointment only, which can be made conveniently online at dmckellysbarbershop.com. That's DIMICHELES barbershop.com, or by calling 860-502-3540. Gift cards are available in any denomination, and they also offer my personal favorite, their own water-soluble pomade. So go get a fresh cut, a clean shave, and an awesome product, and tell them Ben sent you. D. McKelly's Barbershop and Emporium, responsible barbering. Now, I have today a podcast that I'm going to release to your ears. This podcast consists of 3 powerful women of the Connecticut food scene. These women are beautiful, awesome, reliable, successful, great, wonderful. You should take a page out of their book and fucking apply it to your own life, because if your own life's sucking right now, it's your own fault. These women have proven to be anything but that. They have grabbed life by the balls, and they are living their lives to the extreme in this Connecticut food scene. I'm envious because each one of these women has carved themselves a fucking niche in this area that is pretty fucking explosive and big and cool. So, first off, I have Kristin, Eddy, pastry chef at Millwright's Restaurant, Cookin' the Bear, and 2B Perone and Pina. Classically trained pastry chef, everything from fucking snickerdoodle cookies up to fucking your most fucking gold foil fucking mango gelée goddamn cannelle on the side. I've had a lot of this girl's pastry and desserts, and I'm not being biased, I can never say that I didn't like any of them. I'm a fat fucking slob with a sweet tooth, so I generally like any desserts, but I'm really picky. And this woman has never made anything I did not love. So Kristin, Eddy, she's a pastry chef. Number 2, Winter Caplanson. Winter does the magazine and website Connecticut Food and Farm. And as far as like Connecticut food websites, directories, anything like that, it's the only one. She also had a huge part in the Coventry Farmers Market. That was all by her hand. She was the one that, pretty much pulled that together for all the years that it happened. And in my personal opinion, it was the only farmers market that I really give a fuck about. So we got her talking about her magazine and all of her accolades. And third, my boo, Carella, Nora Cupcake, Middletown, Connecticut. There's no other cupcake manufacturer in the state of Connecticut that's fucking with what this woman does. This girl has a list of flavors that's longer than, I don't know, the list of, she has more flavors than there are combined sports teams, I bet. NHL, NBA, Major League Baseball, and NFL. I'm willing to put money on it. If you've lived in Connecticut long enough, you've obviously seen her truck around and you've seen her storefront on Main Street in Middletown. I have her today here touting her cupcake empire. I have these 3 women on here talking about the things that they do and they do best. I envy each one of these women. They do their jobs to the complete extreme 100%, and they do it well with a fucking smile on their face. I'm extremely happy to have them all in my presence and telling me about what they do. This podcast, we're almost up to 50 episodes. I think I've had 2 women. So I thought I'd give a fucking triple dose of estrogen today. So without further ado, the powerful women of the CT food scene.
I break bread, break bread, break bread, break bread, break bread, I break bread, break bread, break bread, break bread, I break bread, break bread, break
Ladies and gentlemen, today, I'm not going to say the date because then it dates it. Today is Tuesday morning. What would Tuesday morning be? What number? What's the date?
The 20th?
19th? 20th?
20th. My birthday's on the 22nd.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
All right, so it's Tuesday the 20th.
First day of spring.
Happy spring.
It
Happy
is. That's the
spring.
first day. This is the first day of spring
Correct.
edition of Breaking Bread with Ben Grimm. And I have 3 beautiful, wonderful, powerful, positive, tasty women with me right now.
Wow. I'm the intro.
I'm blushing already.
And now I will go through and I will introduce all of you. And I know all of your last names. Yours, I think I'm going to say it correctly, but I have Kristin, Eddy with me.
Yep. Hello.
Millwrights, pastry chef.
Yeah.
Also a pastry chef for Cooking the Bear.
And soon to be,
Perron and Pina.
yep.
Winter Caplanson.
Bam.
Ooh, perfect.
Ooh.
Awesome. Of Connecticut Food and Farm.
Yes, sir.
Carrie Carella
Yes.
of Nora Cupcake.
Yes.
Powerful, powerhouse women of the Connecticut food scene. And we're here today, and we're just going to blow the socks off this one. It's going to be so much fun, and we're going to talk shit. We're going to praise, and we're going to just, it's the first day of spring.
Correct.
Yep.
I love it.
So what's going on, ladies?
God.
I mean,
Are you nervous?
of this?
Yeah.
No, I'm excited.
Good.
Yeah. I'm excited for winter to be over.
I'm so over it.
I can't this year.
I can't do it anymore.
Yeah, I'm done.
Yeah, what's the deal with the nor'easters? Like another one coming?
I don't want to talk about that.
I looked at the thing. There's no snow for the
Yeah.
next 15 days, and
Okay.
there was like a week ago.
Thank
So
there was.
the
I'm
Lord.
done. I'm so
Yep.
done.
Yep.
I've never gotten to that point in my life where I'm like, fuck Connecticut. Don't want to live there no
Yeah,
more.
already like secretly looking at locations in North Carolina of how could I move this whole thing down there and no one would notice.
Yeah.
And could I still be called Nora? I don't know.
Yeah, you might
Because I'd
have
be
to.
north of anything anymore.
Yeah, your location just defines your name.
Kind of.
I'm never one of those Connecticut shit talkers. I love Connecticut. I love where I'm from. However, like if I could move this all just a 200 miles south, I think we'd be a little bit better. But we're all New Englanders, and
This is part of it.
We
do what
signed
we
up
gotta
for this,
do.
yeah.
We do what we gotta do. And I might move one day, but not now.
No,
Not now. I'm not ready to.
me neither.
So, ladies, let's go down the line, and we're gonna get we can do like a list of accolades. You tell.
Let's start with
you
Carrie
tell. All right,
first.
we're gonna.
I
we're going.
don't want to be first.
We're going
I'm
backwards.
nervous.
All right, so Carrie, Nora Cupcake,
Mm-hmm.
in my opinion, the best cupcake company. And I know there's a couple out there.
Yep.
I think you set the standard.
Oh.
You do.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And you've
Thanks.
like
You do.
blown it up and
Yeah.
it's
Out of the
been
curve.
consistent and
you.
I tell you-
creative.
I tell you what.
I might cry.
That the day I dropped you off to Flowers.
I can't even talk. I want to talk about that, though.
Go ahead, talk about
Okay,
it.
I want to talk about that, and I'm talking to everybody out there that ever has asked us for a donation or any sort of, please promote this event, please come here, please do anything. I'm happy to do those things. I do those things all the time, and I love doing them because I love making connections with people and networking and encouraging my brand to grow as I'm encouraging your event or your cause or your company or whatever. but no one thanks us. Or they thank you in a way with a form letter. But Ben drives to Nora with flowers and a card and then buys cupcakes to take home. Like, that is genuine. No one does that. And I called him as soon, because I missed him. I was walking the dog. And when I came back, he wasn't there. And I called him and I was just like, dude, no one does that.
You were happy. I feel like if you don't do something like that, like, I just don't get it. I don't get people like that.
Well, there's very few of you.
And
so
that's something you will remember.
I will help
for the
him
rest of your
forever.
life.
Yeah.
I will help him forever.
So the backstory is like, you know, we did the Artists Against Overdose art auction. And if you were there, you would have seen the 300 cupcakes that were donated by Carrie. And it just made my event a little more like official and cool.
Thank you.
You know what I mean? And as far as like having a dessert and yeah, like you went, that's a lot of money. And that's a lot of time, and that's you came also. It's not like you dropped the damn cupcakes off and left the cake stand.
Yep.
You came, you had a good time, you partied.
Yep.
And yeah, I just feel like, you know.
I will say it was easy to participate in your event. I mean, it's at Changarosa. I love Jamie and Cheryl. Like, it's just.
You had a good time.
I had a great time.
I'm sure we've all been part of events
Right.
where we're like, I can't wait to leave.
Right. Like, how many more minutes? But yeah, no, that wasn't that night.
It was a good cause, and I don't think anybody didn't have a good time.
I don't think so either.
You know what I mean? It was fun.
It was a lot of fun.
I'm already looking forward to like doing the next one. It was one of the most positive and like it's probably one of the best things I've ever like put together. And it was like, wow, I did this and it did not suck whatsoever.
Right.
I'm going to knock on wood because there will be future ones. You know what I mean? And I don't want to
But that was
jinx
fantastic.
myself.
It was well run.
Yeah.
You know?
I put like it's really funny because I started talking about it and putting it together back in November, and as soon as it was done, Meg was like, "If you don't put the same amount of effort into planning our fucking wedding that you did to that art show,
He's gonna kick your ass.
we're gonna have a big problem." And I was like,
Yep.
"All right, you know, like I've done events before. Were any of you guys around when we used to do the Hartford Party Starters thing?" That was more of like a West End Hartford, like free kind. Remember when the Spaghetti Warehouse was doing concerts?
When I came into the scene, we were doing pop-ups at Hartford Denim in that area, and that was like my first event. That's when we weren't even really mobile yet, but we were showing up with cupcakes in a folding table, set up next to a granny, making knit scarves. Like, it was the best. And then Ed Jones was in the corner making banh mi sandwiches. Like, it couldn't have been cooler. It was so much fun.
Those dudes have a couple things in the works as far as events coming up. We did this from like 2007 to 2010. We just did like weird. They weren't even hardcore shows. They were just like weird alternative. We did like, remember Janelle Monáe?
Yes.
We did her in the Bushnell Park for free. That was probably like the biggest thing we did.
Wow.
It was really cool when we used to have a bunch of concerts at the Spaghetti Warehouse because there's 2 stages in there, and one of our friends' dad like owned the proproperty.
It's closed down now,
well,
right?
it's an office building now. I think like there's a design like firm that works in there.
Okay.
But like we would do them in there. So I kind of had like a little background as to like how to like set up and how to like push a Facebook event, how to like flyer. But like I've been going to like hardcore shows since I was like a young kid and like stapling flyers onto people's like telephone poles like around town. Like I know how to do it, but I was like, this is official. This is like, it's like a really like heartfelt cause.
Yeah.
So like don't screw it up.
Right.
And you came and you brought the cupcakes.
Yep.
And there was people hovering. Like there was people with fucking frosting on their face. Like,
And you'll
walking
see people
around.
like put them in their pockets.
Yeah.
And like, that's
Or, like,
not a good look.
I definitely saw people like taking a couple and putting them in like little things to bring to another area. Yeah, it was you guys. The guys from Litchfield Distillery made a bunch of cocktails. Like Jamie gave his time and effort and venue.
Yep.
Greg from Chief Brody made a bunch of food.
Yep.
Yeah, that was like that was really fun. And the bottom line is this is not about me. It's about you. You gave me damn cupcakes, and I came and brought you a bouquet of flowers.
Yes, you did.
And I don't care if you're a man or a woman, because I gave Demetrios flowers.
That's lovely.
You got to do that because
you do.
if
It's
you
acknowledgement. It's
Yeah.
not about the flowers. It's about going a little bit above a form letter saying, hey, I appreciated what you did. Thank you.
Totally.
It doesn't.
And
It's not
it
a
was
lot.
genuine, and you took the time out of your day
Yeah.
to make the trip.
Yeah.
That says more than anything.
I just don't know how somebody could do something like that and not give thanks. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, there's more of them than there is of you. So
All right.
unfortunately.
So, but you are, the cupcake queen.
Okay.
You
If
don't
you
have to
say so.
self-proclaim. I'm calling you
Thank
that.
you.
You know what I mean?
I'm not.
It's really
strange.
funny because the girls that work for you have like a weird like they like keep you under lock and key.
Yep.
They're like very protective. I came walking in there with flowers and they're like, "Who are you? Why do you want to talk to Carrie? What are
I
these
don't think
flowers
she's here.
for?"
I don't think she's here. They always say that.
Dude, it was
She's not
so
here.
funny, and I was like, "Wow!" Like you see a guy come with flowers, you think you'd be a little less like inquisitive.
And that's why I'm single.
Yeah, no, it's got nothing to do with you. It's about your employees. It was so
got the
funny.
pack going on.
I know,
The
right?
Yeah,
pack.
they all, there's like a wolf pack, and she's like the mother wolf, and they all will kill you if you come too
it's
close.
very true.
I'll tell you though, I was going to talk about this in a little while, like that goddamn chocolate cherry cupcake you do.
Thank you.
I don't know if you keep doing it, and I know you like put flavors in and
Yeah.
put flavors out,
Yep.
and none of them ever really come back, and you have your staples. But I don't like chocolate. I don't like chocolate cake. I don't like a chocolate-based cake. I like a fruity. I like a vanilla. I don't like a dark chocolate-based cake. And I was like, I like chocolate cherry stuff, like drinks and stuff like that. And
Yep.
I was like, I need to get that damn cupcake. And I came home, and I bought 4, and it was my neighbor's birthday, and I was like, oh man, like I didn't get her anything, so I was like, I'm probably gonna give her these 4 cupcakes. And I opened it up, I was like, no, I'm gonna take the chocolate cherry cupcake. I literally ate it over my sink with my shirt off. There was like chocolate,
Yep.
and like it had the frosting on it was kind of like, it was like a wavy whipped like chocolate and red with the cherry in it.
Yep.
And it had a cherry in the middle of like the little swoopy around there, and then there was the same stuff inside of the cupcake.
Yep.
And I just ate it, and Meg's just looking at me like, you fucking pig. Like,
Yeah.
it's like on
Like
the
you're not
floor.
even gonna share that with me.
Yeah.
No,
Not
she-
even ask me if I want to bite.
I gave her own, but I did not want to give her a bite of mine. And I was like, damn, I should have got 4 of those. Like, that was the best cupcake
Thank
I've
you.
ever had in my life. They're as big as your fist.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's
They're
not
beasts.
It's not like a regular cupcake. You know what I mean? And I was blown away. And then I gave my neighbor 2. So the
Oh.
box was open with 2 missing. You know what I mean?
It's okay. It's the thought
No,
that counts
exactly.
again.
Yeah.
It's the thought that
Whatever.
counts.
Yeah, we get a lot of love and hate about the size of the cupcakes or how much frosting we use, or I don't know. It's all preference. You know what I mean? Like, it's like hot wings.
Yeah.
Where people are like, oh, those aren't hot enough. Well, maybe to your grandmother, they're hotter.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's all what you prefer. So
Yeah.
it's irrelevant to
And
me.
I've heard even a coworker said to me, because I did maybe a couple other weeks ago, I brought a bunch to work. I brought like 8 of them or whatever when I first came to talk to you.
Yes.
And I brought those to work, and like everybody was eating them. Everybody, and I had this one girl that's just like, I don't know. She's not like a pessimist, but she's like, that's in the shade. She's like, their cupcakes are $5, and I was just like, motherfucker, that shit is like a big piece of cake.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's worth it. I would pay $6, and
Right.
especially if it was that chocolate cherry one, I would pay more than
Right.
that. You know what I mean?
Well, that's the thing. I mean, we're jamming so much into those cupcakes. It's unreal.
Yeah.
The amount of like, I don't know, chocolate, fruit, candy, cereal, whatever, alcohol.
Good
You
alcohol.
do have boozy
Yeah,
cupcakes.
right.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is, like, you see people doing stuff like that and, like, pastry and cakes and stuff, and you think at some point somebody would run out of flavor combinations, and it seems like when I go there, there's
Yeah.
always, like, 4 new ones.
Yeah.
And I was like, how does this girl have, like, a list of all these flavor combinations, and it just doesn't run out?
It's a beast. And like this year was the first year that we took the whole menu and we were like, we can't continue to offer all of this for people to order. So we like cut it in half, and then now we're doing this like featured headliners of the month. So we actually took that straight from Providence Donuts. Shout out to them. They do this feature. This is their menu for the month. So we were like, oh, we should retire half of our flavors and then bring them back once a month.
That's
and
smart.
if people want them, this is the month to get them.
That's
and
very smart.
We'll train them. They'll be educated enough after this year to be like, oh, I remember we got the pistachio in March because it's green. So that's what we're trying to do.
Nice.
Yeah.
While it's your section, I'm gonna pop open this
Okay.
box here. Just
You
to,
might need help.
The
Yeah, will you pop that
unboxing.
for me? And I just want to talk about the actual what you got in there. So Carrie bought a huge box of cupcakes. It's probably about bigger than a shoe box. And oh God, help me out. You could do a drum roll if you want.
Right?
Oh wow. Okay, so there's a goddamn
everybody's
dozen
standing up to check 'em
cupcakes.
out.
All right, so we have vanilla chai latte, Lucky Charms, pistachio,
There's the pistachio.
Yep.
pot of gold,
Yeah.
2 of those,
Yep.
lemon drop,
One of my personal faves.
Really?
Irish car bomb, Irish car
That's my
bomb,
favorite.
mint cookies and cream, triple chocolate,
Boom.
shamrock shake, chocolate shamrock shake. Do not let Megan know that I have this one because
Okay.
this will be the one I'm going to take to
Megan,
myself.
we didn't.
And
It
the
actually is ruined.
And mounds.
Mounds.
Yeah, man.
beautiful,
When I like
Carrie.
look at that, like that's not a regular cupcake. That's a big ass cupcake, and it's like a fat ass and a dude that is like
Yeah.
always into sweets, and I was it's appealing.
Thank you.
Cause like when I'm like looking at like a regular restaurant or like a regular like when you're talking about pastries, I don't like cupcakes.
Right.
I don't gravitate to the cupcake when I walk into a pastry shop, but like that makes it.
I
different.
find that with most guys, that they say that. Oh, I don't do cupcakes. I don't do that. It's not my because it has a feminine.
It is a little bit of a feminine
right,
thing.
but these things are by no means girl friendly.
These are like no. Well, these are like 12 different cakes.
Yeah.
it's
Right,
a cake.
right.
Like that's is like probably as small as a piece of cake. Like its own little thing that you can get.
Right.
Oh my god.
My favorite thing is when we do wedding consultations and the grooms are always so disinterested. They're just there to like check the box. Like, yes, honey, I'm here. We're doing a cake tasting. And then they sit down and then I'm like, and I speak their language. Like, oh, do you like bacon? Oh, you do like bacon. Well, we have 17 cupcakes with bacon that we would happily make for
They're
your
like,
event.
oh my God.
They're like, what? And I'm like, yeah, and half of those have booze in them.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, well, we'll try that. Oh, yeah, maybe you should.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing. All right. Well,
And dive in.
I'm gonna wait for like an area where someone's really talking a lot to get into that.
Surreptitiously start
And
eating.
any of you guys can like at any time, please feel free to rip in. Kristin had brought something. I really don't know what's in there. I'm
did.
afraid because I know what's going on. But do you want to go
I'll
second?
pass- Sure,
I
yeah.
really
I'll
hope
start to like
it's-
pass the box over.
Oh, so
to
now
you.
you're gonna bring it to me,
didn't-
and I have
yeah.
to open it. All right, let's see what we got here.
I didn't tape them or anything, so they should be easy to. Ooh.
I was hoping it was.
Oh.
I call these brunch cakes. This is on the brunch menu right now, and they're creme fraiche strawberry cakes with like a buttercream around the edge, and then
Oh, my God.
basically dipped in like a sugar cookie crumb.
What is, like, what's the fruit in there?
Strawberries, strawberry jam.
All right. So it looks like a circular
It's a
cake
very- yeah,
that's
it's-
been cut into like slices and probably like done up after that, right?
Yeah, so I baked them in just like a generic ring mold, kind of like a cookie cutter looking thing. I just piped the batter in there and added the strawberry jam on top. And as they bake, it gives it that nice kind of, swirly look of like a jam in there.
So you get that little like metal thing that's circle and just pop it right in there while it
yeah,
cooks.
yeah,
Okay.
and then you can just pull the ring mold right off. And then basically I put the buttercream around the edge so that you don't get any like dry edges. Like I want to make sure that everything stays really moist. So the buttercream, and then they're rolled in a sugar cookie crumb to give it like that a little extra crunch. Yeah.
What we just got right into Kristin's desserts, but I would like everybody to know, I said it before, she is the pastry chef at my favorite Central Connecticut restaurant,
Millwright's.
of Simsbury, Connecticut. Little biased, know a lot of buds
And
there.
we're going on almost 6 years.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah.
It's like a mainstay. Simsbury,
Crazy.
Connecticut. If you haven't been there, I've brought people there. I brought like, what did we have? Like that day we went up into the loft. I think
it
I
was
brought
like
like
15 people.
15 people.
Or something like
and
that.
these are like my friends that like let's go get barbecue, brother. Like dudes like that.
And you did a tasting menu, so
Yeah,
you were able to
and they-
get every aspect of the menu,
Blown
which I
away.
think is so important.
Everybody
You
was
see it
blown
all.
away, from their girlfriends to like the most rugged dude in the bunch. Like everybody was like, dude,
That's
I
awesome.
never would have thought. Like, and a lot of those people came from like the Route 8 corridor in like Southern Connecticut, so they don't really hear about it because they're not in the area.
Right.
But they were so psyched. I've been there a million times with a bunch of different people, just regular eating, and also the tavern.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's so fun because there's the two different aspects. You can go, tasting menu, 7 courses, get, all the different items on the menu that the chef is basically, promoting for the night, and then a little bit more relaxed in the tavern, the beers, the burgers, the wings.
But you can get anything you want off
You
the
can
regular
get
menu, and they'll bring it
anything you
down
want.
to you.
Yeah.
And that is where the Cook and the Bear concept was born.
Right, down in the tavern.
So that was every
On
Monday
Monday
night.
nights, yeah.
Yeah, Jamie and Tyler had their little pop-up that kind of got too big, and they opened a restaurant behind the concept.
Yeah, exactly.
Which you do pastries for also.
I do.
Put a little bit, kind of like a
Yeah.
little different twist.
And it's kind of fun for me too because I can do more of like the casual like cookies, pies, bars,
Yep.
things that I wouldn't do on a daily basis at Millwrights that I love. Well, so in the second box
Yeah.
there's like bars and cookies.
What kind of cookies are those?
Because I really white chocolate macadamia,
Yes.
and then the bar is a peanut butter cookie on the bottom with a brownie on top.
Shut up.
Don't be
Pass me one
offended
of those.
because
No.
the only
So-
reason I'm not getting into these because it's going to get all over my face.
Listen, I don't even
that's
care
for, like,
about
after
this right
when
now.
we can all
I
crush
just
the
want to
cupcakes
grab.
together.
You want one of these ones?
Like cookies and bars. That's where I live, right there.
Yeah.
I never need anything fancier than a cupcake,
Well,
a
and that's
cookie,
what
or a
I
bar.
love to eat. I love eating cookies and bars, and people always ask me, like, what's your favorite thing to make? And I'm like, I don't know. I'm like, I like to eat cookies
Yeah.
and brownies.
Yes.
So, yeah, that's my favorite thing to make, I guess.
The funny thing is, I love that you've brought these like more like not basic, but like fun, kind of for everybody desserts.
Well, they're approachable.
But if you
Yeah,
go to
for
eat,
food.
Exactly.
But if you go to eat with you got pistachio cannelle with some goddamn foil. Like,
Yeah, but I've also been in the kitchen for 10 hours
Yeah.
that day making
Right.
that, whereas
Yeah.
this I can, make
like
quickly at
edible
home, and
gold
it's still
foil
delicious.
with like some of the most exotic
Actually,
fruits.
I don't think I've ever used edible gold foil.
Really?
Ooh.
Yeah, really.
I think
it's something I would like to do at some point, but I
It's fun.
don't think I've used it.
It's funny. I actually had it on like a weird egg dish at the last
Eggs?
time.
Like
the last
a savory dish?
The last time I ate it on 20, there was like a cured egg yolk over tartare with like a small little square of like the foil in the middle of
Nice.
the egg yolk. It looks so cool.
Yeah.
And you can eat it.
Totally.
Like,
yeah.
what is it made of? Like, what is it?
It's like really, really. It's
gold.
actually real gold, but
gold,
it's
yeah.
so thin.
You have to
that-
apply it with like tweezers.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. You,
You
can't
can't-
touch it because
can't
the
touch it.
oil on your hand, I think,
You'll-
will
it
actually
won't- you'll
disintegrate
stick-
it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
That's awesome.
We did one wedding cake with it this past year for a friend. I wouldn't have done it for like
Yeah.
a regular customer, never having used it before, but it was a friend. It was JD.
From
Ripe.
beautiful.
Yeah.
And
was
how
gorgeous.
was it to like apply it? Did you so you had to use the tweezers? And
Use the tweezers,
a little at a
and
time?
once you start, you can't stop. Like you can't.
Kind of melts right in.
Yeah.
it
you-
just you put it on there and that's it.
and you have to commit,
Yeah.
And if you're going for a rustic look, which his wedding was very rustic, it looks beautiful because it's not perfect.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So,
it kind of has like that crinkly.
It has
like,
a crinkly-
wrinkly
yeah,
look.
yeah.
Yeah.
it was beautiful. It comes out beautiful though. Like on our first shot, I was just like, "Wow, they did a great job." And none of the girls have used it before, so
It'll
That's
be
awesome.
on my list to try next.
it's fun. It's fun.
Every time I see you post something though, or every time I eat there, there's always something different. And it's like, I guess I'm just really easy to please when it comes to dessert. There's like nothing I won't do. Like there's like basic weird stuff that I stay away from,
Well-
like a whole triple chocolate cake. Like I'm trying to get the weird thing
Yeah.
that no one else would get.
Right.
You know what I
That's
mean?
a little bit more creative and maybe, had some different thought processes behind it. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love triple chocolate cake. I would eat that any day. But I actually...
You're so much more than that.
Well, it's crazy. So I like have dreams at night about food, which is, I don't know if that's like a problem.
Oh, you too?
Not a problem.
Like I'll wake up at 3 a.m. and actually like write notes down. And thank God I did write the notes down, because I'll wake up, say at like 8 o'clock and be like, yeah, I have no idea what I was dreaming about.
You have to.
Yes.
You have to.
Yeah, like just jot down little ideas, and then that's kind of like, I think that's where my creative process starts. And then I'll kind of build a dessert off of those weird ideas that you dreamt about.
Mm-hmm. I had a weird dream last night about, like when old ladies go grocery shopping, they have like, they might bring one of those like foldable carts with the 2 wheels on it that like folds
everybody
flat.
uses those in the city. Like New York, you put your laundry in it, groceries in it, everything.
I had a dream that one of my patients at the clinic stole like a decorative trunk that you would see on Antiques Roadshow out of the clinic and put it in one of those to disguise it. And he walked across the street and there was police, and I go, officer, he's stealing. And when I got over there, it was gone. Like he did like a vanishing act. He was like, I don't know what he's talking about. And then the dream was over, and I was like, how like weird and random was that?
Right?
So crazy. But yeah, like I've definitely had a little book like that next to me and wrote down.
Oh yeah, I always keep like a little notebook.
I get rap lyric ideas from that. Yeah,
right. I know,
pretty
and
funny.
sometimes like the ideas are actually good.
Yeah.
Sometimes they're really bizarre, and you're like, yeah, no, I'm not gonna run with that.
I think bizarre is good.
Yes.
Bizarre is good for me.
Different. Yeah.
So we have your goods that you've brought, and what else do we need to know about you? I feel like you're very like quiet and under the radar. There's
quiet.
There's pastries coming out from Millwrights, and nobody really, unless you live in the area, nobody really knows where they're coming from. You're very secretive.
I'm not. Well, I don't think I'm secretive, but I am quiet. I'm a little bit more reserved. I don't like being the center of attention. Like I said, I was nervous to come do this, so I was glad that you ladies were here with me. I think it's really important to just put your head down and do your work, and that will that'll speak for itself. Like
Agreed.
you don't need to be the person behind it, like always like, hey, look at me, this is what I'm doing. Like your work and your product will always speak larger than anything that you could say for yourself.
Words of wisdom.
So true.
Words of wisdom.
I think especially in like the social media era that we're in, everybody expects everyone that's in it to have a personality, but maybe you don't need to have the personality, and maybe your brand or your products are that personality. Like you yourself don't have to be
that is my
in
lifestyle.
show business.
Right. This is what I do. Like I wake up every day and I love to bake and cook, and this is how I show people who I am.
Yeah. Right.
And and I think it's important also to separate, your personal life versus your business life.
True. Yeah.
I don't necessarily want everybody to know where I am all the time.
I know a couple people.
Exactly.
I know a couple people. Like if I know you, I love your kids. But I don't care about your kids when I want to go eat your goddamn food.
Right.
I see.
Separate your business account from your
both.
personal account.
Do both.
Do both, right.
And that's cool. But
Do both.
to have it mixed, it's sometimes.
And I'm not. Don't get me wrong. I love children, but that was just one example. You know what I mean? Like, okay, cool. You went and I want to. If it's a chef, I want to see everything that's about you, food related.
Yes.
You know what I mean? I just think, if I know you in your life, that's fine. But if you're going to advertise yourself as that, do it as that, so people know you for that.
Yeah,
you know
absolutely. Yeah, keep it consistent.
Throw a picture of your dog up every once in a while. You know, whatever.
That's what National
your
Dog
wife,
Day is for.
your husband. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And it's just I've seen people do things like that, or they start to think they're motivational life coaches, and it's just I'm not here to listen to your advice about living. I could screw my life up as good as I want.
Yeah.
I want to see what you're making tonight. I want to see what's on the seasonal menu, stuff like that. You guys do every 3 months seasonal, or?
Usually the safer side does it more often than seasonal, as well as I do. I my motto is, as soon as I'm sick of looking at it on a plate, that's when
You
I change
change it
it,
up.
you know, because
Cool.
I've worked in places that have been phenomenal, but you're doing the same thing for like a year and a half.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you're like, okay, I need some change.
Yes.
I need some difference here. So, you know, Kristin and I, she's my assistant at Millwrights.
Mm-hmm.
Anytime we're like, okay, I don't want to plate this one more time, that's when we change the dessert. So,
Yeah.
and it's
Okay.
always focused towards being seasonal,
Okay.
obviously.
Yeah. How many desserts do you guys have on the menu at one time? Like 6?
6, yeah.
Six, okay.
Six or 7. Yeah, and that goes for both the dining room and the tavern. It's the same menu.
Yeah. Do you remember what's on the menu right now?
Right now, yes. Yes, I know it is
plans for
Sunday.
later.
It is Sunday, but we have a chocolate cream puff that's on the menu right now. It's filled with pastry cream, and it has pistachio croquant, a sour cherry sauce, praline fluff, and like a dark chocolate salted crumb. So the idea of it is you take a bite of the cream puff and then you drag it through all
Dip
of
it.
the components. It's
Love
kind
that.
of like a fun,
Love that.
you know, interactive dessert. There's also a brown sugar honey bread pudding that has ground cardamom in it. So you
Nice.
get like the little like spice,
Yep.
the warm spices in it. And then I do like a candied lemon and an orange marmalade with it. So it plays off like the citrus and the
Both sides.
cardamom.
Nice.
Yeah,
Awesome.
exactly. What else? I always try to put a dairy-free and gluten-free item on the menu. When I first started, I always had a gluten-free option, but now I'm going for like dairy and gluten-free within the same dessert, which has been a little bit challenging.
Yeah.
I can imagine.
But I like that challenge. It makes me like, it forces me to think a little bit more on a different level of like all these, you know, people that have to deal with dietary restrictions and health, you know.
More and more.
Yeah, I mean, more and more.
Yeah.
But right now it's passion fruit mousse. So it's passion fruit with fresh oranges, a gluten-free, dairy-free carrot cake, and I do like a carrot. I juice carrots and make like a carrot gelée. So, and my favorite item on the menu right now is the caramel tart. It's kind of a play off of like the creme brulee, the idea of like cracking the sugar with the spoon.
Nice.
I made like a lace tweel that I set on top of the caramel tart, so you can crack through that.
Ooh.
And then it's filled with a caramel custard and a caramel sauce that I finish with white wine vinegar. So it has like
Whoa.
the acid that cuts through all of like the sweet,
yeah.
like thick. You know when you're eating creme brulee, you're like, this is really good.
So
and then like
rich
4
and-
bites in, you're like, oh, it's so sweet.
Yeah.
So you have the vinegar that cuts through all of that
I've never
as
even
you're
heard of
as
that.
you're eating
No.
it.
That's awesome.
So yeah, little hidden hidden details in there.
I love it.
That's awesome.
Very cool. All right. What is your Instagram handle? I always forget.
It's Kristin1323. Kristin
One-
with an IN.
1323. I
Yeah.
want everybody to please go and follow her right now because
Yeah, check me out. Check my stuff out.
Yeah, I need. You're gonna get a little bit more of dessert exposure.
Yay.
There you go.
Like
I
that.
want you to take a picture of the journal that you have, like when you have an idea.
I will.
I would love to see
Yeah, yeah.
that picture
Dessert-
and then what,
dessert
what it
journal.
becomes
from.
Yeah, and it's
Yeah.
got really bad handwriting
That's all right,
all
I
over
like
it. And people are so funny because when we have like birthdays and celebrations, I write in chocolate on the plates, and my writing on the plate is like so elegant, and people are like, "Oh, you must have the best handwriting." I'm like, "No, it's horrible.
No.
I have horrible handwriting."
I
just
have
know how to
horrible
write big
handwriting,
chocolate.
Yeah.
My handwriting used to be really good and like really legible, and the more that I've had to do it at work, I look like a doctor, like writing. It's
Yeah.
really bad. But if I'm like writing a card to somebody, I'll be
Well, because you like go really slow.
Yeah, you're
and
taking your
it's-
time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. My signature has turned into a mound of shit over the years too. And people just make fun of it. My boss once told me my signature is terrifying, and I don't really know what that means. So.
It's aggressive and
yeah, it's
angry.
aggressive. Yeah.
I know, but they're not even. I mean, they don't even teach like cursive or anything in the schools anymore. So
That-
most people don't even know how to write their
I do.
cursive signature.
Don't ask me to do it now, but I know how to do a couple of the letters and keep it flowing. But like that, I haven't. You don't see that stuff anymore.
No.
It's very weird. But yeah, Next time I write somebody a thank you card, I'm going to do it in cursive. It's going to look like straight crap.
Like a second grader.
Yeah. All right. So we're moving on to our third guest here today, Winter Caplanson.
Hello.
Connecticut Food and Farm.
Yes.
Eastern Connecticut is your domain.
It is.
How's it going out there? What?
It's great.
What are we looking to see from you coming up? What's going on?
We have the spring issue of the magazine. So there's two parts to what I do. The for-profit part is the photography for the industry, essentially food and beverage, hospitality in general, agriculture, makers. So it could be a small food maker, could be an artisan. I do a little tourism, but unlike other photography businesses that are often, the person's name, then having the name Connecticut Food and Farm and, because I ran a large farmers market in the past, I was already pretty well networked into the same world that we're talking about here.
Which farmers market was that?
So I was one of the founders of it was called the Coventry Regional Farmers Market.
In my opinion, the only one that really matters.
For real. I know.
It was a good run. It was a big success.
Hell yeah.
We loved it. So that's actually where I got my footing in photography, because we used photography and we used writing and we used social media to share the stories of what was happening in the market first, and then we spun out to what was happening. If a chef was buying the food of our farmers, what did that look like in their restaurant? And we did a restaurant CSA program, and all the farmers contributed to a box, and we followed those boxes to the restaurants that purchased them, and to see what was happening. So all of that imagery, we had a blog, we had a podcast.
Really?
We had a great time.
What was it called?
Connecticut Food and Farm.
When was it around?
2012?
Probably something like that. Yeah. It was
Really?
It was like so far ahead of the curve that no one really knew what you were doing.
I was gonna say, I don't
that.
like people
Yeah.
are just getting into like the
Last couple of years,
following the podcast. Yeah.
But the through line is the same. It's you just talked about cursive. I spent 22 years as a teacher. So when you're looking at a classroom of students, like what a really good teacher does is figure out where everybody is and how to move everybody forward at the fastest pace that their DNA and motivation can take. So that was the same thing. It's the same thing with the food world. You just talked about the things that you're doing in the kitchen and the creativity that you're putting into the cupcakes. And a lot of people aren't that heartfelt, So for Connecticut Food and Farm, the nonprofit side continues to tell those stories. Only now we do it in Connecticut Food and Farm magazine. We are in we just finished 2 years, so I think we're headed into two and a half.
Is that quarterly?
It is a quarterly online magazine. This is my honest opinion. It's amazing.
I love it. I love it. It is. It's great. And the fact that
It's Bible.
there is somebody vouching for all of the chefs and the farmers and showing it, and you have a following, and it's educating people on all across the board.
Right.
And connecting the dots.
It's interesting, too, that I've been thinking about. This is we talked about social media and influencers. And the fact that there are so many sponsored posts, somebody is paying them to say those things.
Yeah.
I'm a little older than you guys, but I'm appalled by that. I don't believe there should be somebody that I can trust.
Yeah.
Just because it's always going to be somebody's opinion, but be an informed opinion and I'm going to tell you the true story.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's what's happening in the magazine. If you guys are not, I think you're already all part of the kitchen
you see
cabinet
that
behind the scenes.
all over the place on all of the platforms now. I mean, Facebook has turned into large companies are just going on there. People are pushing, sales and, buy this from me.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm doing this now. And it's like, okay, I don't even want to look at Facebook anymore because I feel like everybody's trying to sell me something.
I wish I could take my scope of Facebook down just to local.
Yeah.
Or maybe how YouTube Red, get rid of the ads. If there was a thing I could pay $5 a month to get rid of all the ads on Facebook, I would probably do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Including sponsored posts.
Yeah, that's what I would get rid
Don't
of.
want to see them.
Maybe a couple people from high school
Yeah.
that I don't want to unfollow because I don't want to hurt their feelings.
Yeah.
And sponsored posts.
Yeah. So the magazine is quarterly and puts out about 10 articles. Sometimes we get a little exuberant and there's 12 or 13 or so. But all of the ideas come from our connected world. So we have a secret private Facebook group that I think you guys are all in, where we just
There's
pick around
thousands of
ideas.
members.
Yeah. There
It's not
are.
secret at all.
You can't just find it by looking, so you've got to be invited, and that's where all the conversations happen around, like, what's happening in the pastry world, how is this a story? And so it's what we know, the insider's guide essentially. But ironically, every article, in my opinion, does kind of lead to a call for action. That if we tell you about, like, one of the ideas we have kicking around, I saw some posts on Facebook about the tasting menu at Millwright's, that you can have it in the tavern. That it could be pretty casual and have it in the tavern.
Oh yeah.
Right, but in my mind, tasting menus are like, they take a really long time, and you
Yeah.
wait
Yeah.
tablecloth.
No, but if
You have
you
to
come
be
in, say,
there
with
in
like
the-
your boyfriend or your husband or friend or
Right.
significant other, and you just want to like taste everything on the menu, yeah, that's
and
no
do in the
problem.
tavern.
Yeah.
I'm not sure everybody knows that.
Nope.
And I
Probably
think-
not.
Right.
Yeah.
And so that idea, for example, we kicked around and said, okay, what else don't people know about tasting menus? And I had some haters.
Of course.
They're like, tasting menus are dead. Like, move on.
There's always
That's
going to be
so
haters, though. There's
1985.
always
And I
going to
was
be
like-
somebody that's unhappy.
I was like,
or-
I think there's a story here. So we talked about other situations where you would advise somebody, like, no, do the tasting menu.
Yeah.
So one example that people came up with was it's a restaurant where there aren't small plates. You've been dying to get there. You're not going to get there every week. You're traveling from afar, or an hour and a half away, or whatever. Do the tasting menus. You can taste so many things and
Yeah.
see what you
Yeah.
like.
Totally.
Another would be a cuisine that you are not familiar with. You look at the menu, you're like, I don't even know what this says. Like, I can't even do
Right.
the tasting menu and
Right.
have them talk you through it about what you're tasting. So there's an example. We would start with a concept like that. The concept could be basically like, tasting menus are not dead.
No.
Right. And then we would sort of open the question to our network of people, which, as you say, it's not small.
No.
But they're all the best of the best industry people, and they know what's going on. You say, Larry, who's doing an amazing tasting menu? But who's doing a tasting menu where there are things on the menu that aren't on the normal menu? Or who's doing a tasting menu, just kind of look at a variety of things.
Who's not doing one? Who should be doing one?
Right.
Yeah.
These
Right.
are all different angles,
Right.
exactly. And so someone would say, "Oh, Millwright's and on 20 or whoever," and then you would, does anyone have a connection there? Put your hand up. Is somebody there? Like, oh yes, I can
Right.
I can get you in there.
Right.
And then we put the question out. There's possible topics that we kick around, and at that point, it all lands in the laps of the writers and the photographers, who are all working pro bono. None of them are paid at all. So that means somebody has to want to do that work, that they're normally paid for. It's a lot of work,
Right.
Yeah.
But somebody says, like, I want to do that piece.
Right.
And so
It is
that's
a lot of work,
how-
but I feel like if that's something that you believe in and you want to do, it's
Right.
not really work because you're enjoying doing it. And
Yeah.
That's
Right.
something that
Somebody's
you would
gonna
do
reach
on
out
the
and be
side
like,
anyways.
I'll do that one.
Right.
That's it.
Let me do
Yeah.
that
That's
one.
it.
Totally.
I mean, one of the things that we don't pay writers or photographers, we pay a designer. And if you see that either online or get a paper copy and hold it in your hand, is beautiful.
Yeah.
I mean, the photography is beautiful. I'm by no means the only photographer. There's probably 40 photographers that contribute from time to time, and at least as many writers. But beautiful design is not something to skimp on. The last issue was 192 pages, and there's no advertising. This is a lot of design work. It's beautiful. But we also pay an editor. Because one of the things that I believe in is being able to hear authentic voices. And I don't just want to hear the voice of someone who works in a media company, 12 stories up overlooking a city, and it's Friday afternoon and they've got to get something in for deadline.
Yeah.
I actually want to hear the voice of the baker or the farmer. And a lot of people read, I'm not a writer. Don't worry.
Right.
Don't worry. I'm going to give you some guiding questions. I've gotten to this place where,
Right.
at least like I'm thinking like my readers, like, what do they want to know about a tasting menu?
Right, yeah,
And
absolutely.
these are things they would be curious about a tasting menu. You do the best that you can with your writing, and then we turn it over to a professional editor.
And that
they'll-
makes a big difference.
It does, because we still want to present, again, talking about social media, the content that I see put out with like a blatant spelling error.
It's a degree of like professionalism, like,
Yes.
and we can talk about this where like you think you know this place and then you have this idea of how good and high it is on the level, but it's just like it's not put together right. The front page of their Instagram has like word comma word with no spaces. Like you're just like, sometimes I just want to go to people and be like, give me your damn phone. 2 seconds.
Yep.
And I will edit. I'll put that all together for you so it looks presentable. You know what I mean?
I mean, I never want to hold back for fear that there'll be an error. There's always an error.
Yeah.
But that's very different than not putting in the work to create something that we could all be proud of. Because I do feel like this magazine speaks, for all of us. I just did the math, and it's something like 140 stories that we've covered.
Wow.
It's
crazy.
a lot
That's
of
awesome.
pieces.
Yeah.
And we don't seem to be running out of steam at all, because there's always something.
Yeah.
Well, because the industry is growing so
Right.
fast
Right.
in
There's always
so
something
many
new.
different directions too. So I feel like when it comes to food locally, I mean, you can take that in so many.
Right. And I think also,
facets.
and you guys know this from having done events and business, it takes a while to catch on. Like you're doing a really amazing job for a while, and you're like, nobody noticing me.
But you know what? But you have to be
right?
consistent.
You do, and you gotta keep
stick
it-
with
Don't,
it.
yeah,
And
don't stop.
No. So
Right.
2 years in, amazing stories are starting to come to us.
Yeah.
Rather than
Also, I think that like there's a little bit of that like self of no one's noticing us or no one sees this, but there are people that are noticing it, and you don't realize
And
that.
those are the people that matter, because
That's it.
it's going to turn around and you've
They'll
got
tell
that.
someone.
Yes,
and
exactly.
that's organic growth,
Right.
which is what you want. You don't
And
want your
that- yeah.
friends talking
No.
about
You're
it.
like, okay.
Yeah.
That's
You're just telling me
exactly.
nice things.
And that's exactly what you want, because that's organic growth, and that's growth without paying for it. Like we were
That's
talking
right.
about the
That's
sponsored
right.
ads. Why
That's right.
force on down somebody's throat?
Who doesn't care? They don't
They
care.
do not care.
Right.
Right.
They do not care.
I don't know. Lots of social media stuff like has changed so much, and what like I feel like when we opened the business in 2011, 12, it was still in a place where you could optimize it to your benefit as a business, and without all the BS noise around it, you know. And now I feel like you have to cut through so much bullshit
Yep.
just to get to something that you want to see, that it's almost irrelevant. So there's two schools of thought, right? Like more content, just keep posting more content, not necessarily sponsored or paid for,
Yeah.
but just you want to keep putting yourself out there.
Yep.
But then you run
Or-
the risk of people saying, wow,
Oh
I have to
my
look at this
God.
5 times a day. I'm
Right.
sick of seeing
Oversaturation.
this. Yeah.
Oversaturation.
Right.
So
the only reason I disagree is that
well, I don't agree with that.
Yeah.
That's not my style at all.
Right.
Like
you put stuff out.
I put stuff out that I am excited about. Like if I'm genuinely
That's the
pumped
bottom
about
line.
it, then
Yeah.
I'm like, people
Well,
need to know about
right.
this. But to post just to post because it's 2:00
Yeah.
and I
or
should
you're
post.
like, I didn't do anything today.
Right.
Maybe it's better that you didn't.
Right.
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 Yeah.
I also am not a fan of scheduled posts at all.
No.
Me neither.
Because I'm not feeling it.
No.
Like
It
it's
doesn't
gotta-
matter.
it's
No
gotta
one's
be
seeing
of
it's
the
on a
moment.
schedule. No one's seeing it.
Yeah.
It used to be that it was real time. Nothing's real time anymore.
Right. I
So
know.
there's no
Right.
point in having. When we first opened, they didn't have any algorithms or whatever.
Yeah.
So I wanted to make sure that our menu was posted by 10 a.m. every single day, because that's when we open the doors. And people were trained. People were actually
Sure.
would call the store and be like, "It's 10:05. You didn't post the cupcakes list.
Yeah.
Like, I need to know what you have today." So like it became this level of importance, and then
Yeah.
all of a sudden that went away with Facebook changing everything. So
Interesting.
we were just like, we'll post it when we feel like posting it, because
Yeah.
they won't see it till freaking Friday anyway.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
and it's
Yeah.
different now.
I do not understand why they took the whole timeline thing away from Instagram.
I
Like
know.
it doesn't have a rhyme or reason to it. Like if you want to go see something, you have to go to the person and
I
look.
know.
It's
Yeah.
if you're just going through your feed, it's not.
I hate it.
Yeah,
I hate it
I
too.
hate
And I see like a friend will like post something, and then it'll be like 22 hours ago or
Yeah.
Right.
last
yeah, it is
day.
strange.
Right,
Yeah.
yeah.
Or it'll be like an event. I'm like, oh shit, that looks good. Oh, already happened.
5 days ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm like,
Yeah.
why?
Yeah.
That's what I don't know if they're like trying to push all of us. I really feel like sometimes I should take classes in this just so I understand it, but then I'm like, why? It's going to change in a month anyway. But like, are they pushing us to post more on our storyline because that's more real
I feel
time.
like that's now the direction that everybody has
Maybe.
gone. Where
Because it's
I'm
relevant.
still like behind the curve.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
like
one or the
stories.
other.
We just started
I'm like,
doing it.
What?
I know people that are.
I'm like, I didn't even know that was a thing.
I know so many people that are so much more engaged in the Instagram story thing
Yep.
than they are in their post, and it's like I don't ever think to go in that top
No.
line and look
Okay.
at the
Me neither.
stories.
So our new thing is this. The Instagram posts should look good from a distance. You want your page to look pretty, like a website, right?
Yeah.
But your story is where
It can be
you're...
a big messy moment.
It can
like
be a big messy moment,
Yeah.
but
Or
it
like
should
the
be
Big
relevant.
messy moment.
Right now.
Like you right now.
As I
over.
reach for the Shamrock
That's a
Shake
good way to look
cupcake.
at it, Carrie. I like that. That makes sense. Yeah.
But then, like, that's where if you post your menu of the day or where your food truck's going to be, like, that's in the moment and it's gone in 24 hours. So
Okay.
Yeah.
no one's running into it on Wednesday when you were there on Sunday.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, man, like he just said, like, we missed that.
Right.
No, if you were paying attention on stories, then you would have seen that we were there.
As a professional photographer, everything on my Instagram page,
It's beautiful.
it is never,
Right.
it is always curated, is always edited. 'cause
perfect.
It's my work.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure if I'm getting the saying right, but in photography, probably all business, there's what you show is what you get hired for.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, so there are lots of jobs that I do that I may never share an image. It's just not, you know,
What you
I
want
want to do.
Right.
Or it didn't turn out to be what I want to do more of.
Totally.
But
I'll just take note that Nora Cupcake Company is very prevalent
you're
on the
very,
Connecticut
very
food
prevalent. But you know what? You did something really interesting with me, and it's actually a place where I'm hoping to go more with my business. It's like a dream to get there, but to have somebody say like, "Here's some money, here's some product." I had like here's like 2 things I like on Pinterest. Like I
Right.
have an idea about like light and wood. Go.
Yeah.
Because that's where the real magic starts
Yes.
to happen.
I think that I was really fortunate to meet you before you were doing this professionally for your whole, like for your career, right?
Yep.
And I feel like you and I had jived on so many levels about the industry and the scene in general that it was so easy for me to just give you stuff and be like, I don't know, make it look good.
Go, right.
Like, go. I just, whatever.
Right.
So that I feel like has been such a growth process for Nora and Connecticut Food and Farm and like the correlation of that.
Yeah.
Seeing that kind of growth together. There's a couple of companies that I feel that way about in our growth process. You, Bears.
Yep.
Let me see who else. Well, those are the ones that like stick out to me the strongest right now, especially because I feel like when we first came on the scene, Jamie was first moving into Hartford, and it was this very like organic, like let's do a lot of stuff together, and
Yeah.
we did, and
Yeah.
a lot of like assimilation with that.
Yeah.
So it's been fun doing that.
And I think the key is keeping it fun. You know, I do a ton of pro bono work
Yeah, you do.
because partially just to be in service to the industry. So pretty much any new restaurant that opens that serves scratch made food, that's sourcing like literally anything locally, like this is very broad, I will always do a free half hour if I'm in your area.
Right.
You know, and a half hour is not much, but it's probably a dozen images.
And I
gonna
know,
say.
and I
Mix
think
it.
that's important because then they can figure out if they want to continue to work with you and vice versa. Is
exactly.
this your style?
It's
Is
never
it
why
gonna-
I do it. I do it because I'm a little nosy.
Yeah.
I want to get in. I want to
Same.
see what's going on. You know, I want to talk to them. I'm
Right.
curious about what's your intent. What's going on?
Because the drive is food, right? Like you're
Right.
nosy because you want to know if you want to eat there.
That's
That's
right.
for me.
It really
I'm like,
is pretty self-serving.
yes. You're like, what have I got to lose?
Right.
We're gonna go have
Right.
lunch and I don't know, take some pictures.
I'm that creep that's like in the window before like anybody
look
opens
at
and I'm like, what's going on
Right.
in here? Like there's a
Right.
place right over there on the corner and they've had like paper up on the windows for the
Okay.
longest time. Now it's down and there's these little weird macrame things hanging from the ceiling. And I was like, well, it's not going to be a fucking donut shop.
Right.
What's it going to be? And I'm like in there like looking around like I want to know, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
And-
right.
But in half an hour, I can get you a chef portrait, or I can get you interior or exterior, or like 2 dishes,
Right.
and and kind of go from there. But I do a lot of pro bono stuff with farms. I did a kids farm event yesterday. You know, a small farm doesn't have a budget for photography. They
No.
just don't.
And they
And
so
it's just-
appreciate it when you
promotes
do that.
them and it promotes your work as
Absolutely.
well.
Yep, totally.
It's
But
just
you know-
unfortunate to see when people don't realize what a gift that is And
Right.
like when you're just like, but you don't like, I just gave you stock photos that you can use
Right.
in any way.
That's
Yeah.
all right.
And especially in today's day and age, I mean, it's all about the graphic, right?
Right.
I mean, it's
Yeah.
whatever media you're following a media.
Yeah.
And you can't really exist unless you've been grandfathered in because you're the bar on the corner for the last 100 years.
Even then, you're just riding it out
You're
because you're
riding.
going
Yeah.
down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like you gotta play ball. Unfortunately, I mean, a lot of people didn't get into the industry to be in graphic design and social media,
Right.
But it's become a thing,
Yep.
and it's actually very relevant.
Right. So I try to make it accessible. You're right. In that half hour, we get a chance to work together.
Yeah.
Do you like working with me? Do I like working with you?
And you get to, meet some new people and check out some
Absolutely.
new places. I mean, I feel like that's
Absolutely.
something, I'm not a photographer, but I would want to just
Totally.
Right.
donate my time
Totally.
to go hang out on a farm and pet some goats
Yeah.
and
Right.
cows. And
You get
I don't know.
behind the scenes
Yeah.
at the most amazing. I've photographed Renee Redzepi. I've photographed Jacques Pepin.
Yep.
Amazing.
Well, and you end up meeting people that have these like backstories,
Yeah.
too.
Right.
They own a farm right now and they're doing this for children at the time or whatever. But
Right.
you end up getting into this conversation that's much larger than that.
And this is where we meet. You referred to sort of the 1% of people who are really authentic and sincere, and this is where you find them.
Yeah.
And this is where you find the people.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Who are your peers? Like I have a great deal of admiration for a lot of professional photographers, but I actually don't think of them as my peer. I'm not. I'm a photographer, but I don't come at it from a photography angle. I'm a cheerleader of local stuff.
Yes.
And so if it's
Showcaser.
if it's
Yes.
blogging, then let's blog. If
Right.
it's writing, let's write. Whatever the mode of the day is.
Yep.
Let's do it.
Yep.
Well, and I think like supporting each other is a huge thing too.
In such
you
a
know?
small state like
Yeah.
this, that's the thing going on
and not
right
making
now.
it. Yes, I know we're all like in business, trying to make it, but not making it a competition on like
Right.
a personal level either. You
No.
know, like it should be that okay, I'm doing this. I want you to be part of it because it's cool, and I'm
Right.
friends with you, and vice versa. It shouldn't be.
Our largest growth has been from our connections with other industry people. Like it's a cup at the end of the day. I'm not trying to like diminish what I've built or what I've branded, but it's a cupcake store. Like no one needs it. It's
But
not-
it's fun and delicious, and you can
Right.
make it a fun,
But
part of something else.
you need that like connection to Coventry Regional Farmers Market, to Bear Smokehouse, to at the time Maggie McFly's, like wherever it was that we were going and building, and then if you have a food truck, well, we're dessert, so hey, we're good friends
your
with the way
savories,
station. Yeah,
right.
we're good friends with the way station. We're good friends with Mercado, and that's who our buddies are, and that's who we're going to show up with, and that it's smart business to just connect yourself to these people, but it's also wonderful knowing that hey, you're friends with them, you love what they're doing, you want to support them, their dreams, their families, by helping them as they help you. So it just, I don't know, it just makes good sense.
The cool thing about you guys, though, is like, all right, so we're going to go to this event, and there's like somebody with a food truck, but you can literally like, boop, wear the dessert that's going to go with that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and you can insert yourself here, anywhere. However, you also stand alone with your own shop, like,
Yeah.
it's not like,
Well,
you
I
know.
think it's especially selling just cupcakes, really. I mean, we do other things, but nothing like, we're not a restaurant, you know? Like, we don't have beverage. We don't have alcohol sales. We don't have, people aren't, they're coming to us for celebrations, but they're not coming with, like, parties of 30 or, whatever. So we do have to rely on really marketing ourselves to the masses. Like,
Yeah.
people have asked me, like, what's your niche market? And I'm like, everyone.
Yeah.
Everyone.
Old,
Child
child.
to senior. I don't care what nationality you are. Like, come, you want sugar.
No, totally.
You need the sugar.
Totally. Yeah,
So-
you're not pigeonholed into one thing.
Right. And I
Yeah.
think that, especially like I was saying before with cupcakes, like it's got this like in your head, this image of like a feminine thing or sprinkles and pastels. And that's when people ask me like, why does your shop look like this? Why does your truck have skulls on it? Because I wanted it to be more gender neutral. Like it's not just a girl's thing. Like, I don't know, beast out.
Yeah.
Eat a cupcake.
Yeah, totally.
And I do.
I know.
But You hear like when you have your ear to the ground, and I try to keep it there as much as possible as far as like openings and people's restaurants and stuff in the area. Like you hear people talk shit about stuff that it's just not good, but then you hear like the praise, and it's like I don't like if somebody was ever like fucking I hate cupcakes, I'm like, well, you're a Nazi.
Well,
you know what I mean? Like how can you not?
They won't hate cupcakes, but they will hate Nora. Like people, there are haters, and it's like, you ain't popping, you ain't got no haters, whatever.
Well, do they have like their own stake in something? Like you're taking away from my dessert company kind of thing?
I think it's more people that are. I feel like the majority of like I don't want to say hate, but the majority of the negative energy that we get sometimes is, people that are like, well, it's a cupcake. I make cupcakes at home. I make them all the time. Like, what makes you so special? Why do you feel like you can charge what you charge? Well, open a business in Connecticut, and then we can have that conversation. Because I used to make cupcakes at home too, and it's a totally different ballgame.
Mm-hmm.
So,
And those are the people that are ignorant to just having your business in general, not only just cupcakes and food industry, like trying to own your own business and survive. And
I'm not a pastry chef. Like, I'm never once tried to proclaim that I'm some sort of culinary whiz. I just had an idea.
Yeah.
And I'm good at marketing. And I don't even know why I'm good at marketing. I'm an English major, and I bartended my whole life. Like, that's what my background is. So,
but that's what makes your story so cool, because you were able to,
very unique,
advance and be successful.
Just took advantage of social media. Seriously.
And for you to be in like Middletown, but like be so prevalent everywhere else.
The truck.
Yeah, and I'm not going to take anything away from Middletown, but it's not like your culinary destination of Connecticut where, you're there and you thrive. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I learned that when we opened in West Hartford on how, West Hartford's just like, you open up, you serve food, you're getting a line.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, it's just people are going there for food.
Yep.
Middletown's becoming that, but very underground. Still very low key, but you can get anything on Main Street, Middletown.
Yeah. Now, yeah.
And not just Main Street. I mean, the whole space has great food.
Yeah.
But not known for it. Like you said, it's just not something it's not their go-to.
The couple places that do well out there are because they put themselves out there like that with a reputation. You know what I mean? There's like that whole street has pretty much like any genre you want to eat.
Yes.
And it's good. It's not like your, run-of-the-mill stuff.
Right. Agreed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really mixing it up. I wanted to rip into this, but I'm like, I'm gonna get it all over my microphone. Like I'm gonna do this later.
One. That's a messy
I'm gonna
one.
do it later when no one's looking.
It looks so good.
I know.
I'm still chomping on
really
this peanut butter chocolate brownie bar.
How is it?
Delicious.
So good.
This is my go-to too. Bars and brownies and cake. Not cupcakes. Cookies.
I love making cookies.
Portable.
With a big glass of milk.
Mm-hmm. My favorite part of making cookies at home is like grabbing everything in the cabinet and being like, okay, I'm tired of looking at this like half bag of whatever. I'm gonna make cookies.
Get rid of it and
like
make a
potato
cookie.
chips, pretzels, coffee grounds,
Yup.
whatever. I'm tired of looking at this bag.
That's awesome. I am not a good baker.
Okay.
But I can follow a recipe. Like if you give me it and I have all the instruments and I have a good enough stove that like actually gets to the temperature that it says it does, and I don't have one of those right now, I can do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I can do a couple like staple meals, but like that's like one of my things. Like I have a connection to food, but I really wish I could make food better than I can currently do. Like, you want some fucking turkey bacon and egg whites in the morning? I got you.
You're good.
Yeah, but it starts with that. Starts with the basics, and then you get comfortable with that, and you start like, alternating different things and throwing in like a different sugar or honey or whatever, and that's how you
It's no
evolve
different than eating.
Yeah.
It's really no different than eating. You start with cheese pizza.
And then
And
it
then
goes from
you're
there.
like,
Right.
Yeah.
You build on
Someday
that.
I'm gonna throw maybe a little spinach on that boy and
Right.
see how that goes. And then next thing you know, you're eating bone marrow and all kinds of crazy
Out of a
stuff.
flu.
I know.
Out of a flu.
When I was growing up, like my teenage years, I had one staple that my mother was so like blown away that I could do, because it was the one dish I could do where I knew where to start everything and have it all come together at the end and nothing was cold, and it was chicken parm with spaghetti. And she would be like, "Can you make that tonight?" And I would make it, you know what I mean? Because I learned when to start the spaghetti, because if you don't do that, you're going to be screwed when the chicken's done frying and then the goddamn sauce over here isn't bubbling yet. And I got that down to a science, but that was
I mean, that would
literally
have been nice. That would have been nice today.
Yeah.
only thing.
The beauty of multitasking.
Yeah, only thing. I always tell myself, I'm like, if I had a bigger kitchen with more space, I could probably do a lot more. But like, I'm working with like, I have too much crap on my counter as far as it goes right now that has nothing to do with food.
Yep.
So one day when we buy a house, I'd like to get like a really ignorant and extravagant like breakfast bar in the middle that just has too much room. Like I would love something like that.
Yeah.
Love
Your own
something
personal
like that.
hood vent in the
Yeah,
center
oh,
island.
man.
Yeah.
Yeah. A crazy.
We all want one of those.
Like an ignorant like wolf stove with like 8 burners, and all I'm doing is boiling water.
A fryer later that, just miraculously cleans itself, and
man.
just always fresh oil in it. Yeah.
I've just learned about that, and a friend of mine is like, yeah, I get I've changed the oil every 3 days. And I'm like, how many places don't do that?
Yeah.
And they buy the oil from him. Like they buy the waste oil.
For fuel making.
Yeah. Roy at Pollo Guapo.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they like sell the waste oil to like a guy like that comes
a
and
lot of
takes
places
it.
do that. Yeah, we do that at Millwrights.
Yeah,
or they take it away. We save it in a special bin.
Yeah, he changes it out every 3 days. Yeah. I worked there for one day.
You did?
Yeah, you didn't heard that story?
No.
Oh my god, it's so embarrassing.
How did it go? Did you like it? Do you want to?
So like it was probably like last year, and my job was like really hard. Like my job was getting really hard, just because of the volume of stuff that I do and the paperwork. And I was just like, I was in a bad place, and I was like, I'm gonna transition. I'm gonna transition into food. I had a 3-year plan. I was like, watch, I'm gonna be able to do something on like a chef level in a couple years. I got enough guys that are willing to help me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're connected enough.
And I was like, fuck it. Let's just start at the bottom. And I said to Roy, I was like, hey, like I'd like to, work a couple days like for you guys.
Try
and
it
he was
out.
like, yeah. He said, come on. I went over there. him and his wife were just like, here, fill out this tax information, like like your application, all that. Hit me off with like the mesh hat, the apron. And I had just worked a full day at the clinic. So I wake up my first alarm goes off at 3:45.
Oh.
And I take like a good half hour to roll around in the bed, and I have to be in the shower by no later than 4:30 to make it to Bristol for 5:30 to start working. Work till 1:30. Shot right over to El Pollo Guapo for 2:30. Work till 10. I loved it. He showed me how to like cut a whole chicken in half. Like no one's looking. I'm taking like the skin. I'm eating it. Like you cut like the whole chicken, then you show me how to quarter it, and you showing me all this stuff, and like the skin does fall off, and there's like a pile of it on the cutting board, and like when no one's looking, I'm just housing.
It's the best part.
Just housing this chicken skin, and he showed me how to like they have like pretty much like it's kind of foolproof. He's got a thing on the wall that shows you how to make all the bowls and all the tacos and all that shit, and like I'm just doing it. It's like, and it was nonstop. This is right after they opened. It was nonstop. It was just like tickets flying out, and I'm doing, and at the end of the night, I was like, dude, be realistic. Like, how did I do? He's like, you can work in a kitchen. Like, you're good. So I was like, oh, this is how it's gonna happen. Couple months, I'm gonna give my 2 weeks notice. I'm out.
Yep.
Woke up the next morning, couldn't move. Dude, couldn't move. Was so shocked.
That's so good.
So shocked. I like actually went to work late. Like I went into work half day to my job, and then right after I drove to El Pollo Guapo. I walked in with like my regular clothes on.
Like I can't.
They knew exactly what I was doing.
Not
They
do it.
they
Oh my
just
God.
started laughing.
That's so good.
They were like, it's totally fine. They wanted to give me money. I was like, do not. I was like, do not. I was like, I worked 6 hours for you. We're going to keep it at that. That's great.
And it's going to live in my memory as
he
one of
was
the
like-
best days of my
And
life.
he was like, if you ever want to come back and help out, I was like, it's good to know. But like, I was so, and it had a lot to do with like, being on your feet like that
Yeah.
whole time. And I was just like, after that, I was like, like they don't have it easy. Like chefs don't have like
It's
No.
exhausting.
just because they're not
Yeah,
working a
you're
construction
running
job
around.
and you're not
Right.
lifting heavy things doesn't mean you're not like
Yep.
it's like a mental engagement because you are engaged the whole time.
Yes.
Because you have a time restraint and you need to get it out and it's just like you're focused the whole time. And I was just like, I really give it to everybody that I know is in the food world. And then I was like, you never going to do that again. Never try to do that again because it was embarrassing.
I remember the first week that we opened at Nora, I hadn't hired anyone. And I was just like, I'll be able to do this. It's cupcakes, like whatever, figure it out. So it was literally like me and my older brother who was like coming in after his job and like helping me wash dishes and stuff. And before this, I was GMing at a restaurant. So I wasn't like in a kitchen or necessarily behind the bar 5 days or 6 days a week. I was like overseeing stuff. So I'm in the kitchen now. It's Nora. We open and I'm nonstop making cupcakes, making frosting, washing dishes, washing floors, like waiting on people. Like I remember going home after like 3 days in a row and just like laying in the tub being like, oh my God, I don't know, I think my arm's going to fall off. Like a froster's arm. Just like,
Like your hands cramp
Yup,
up from
Yeah.
like scooping cookies or
Yup.
frosting, and you're like, oh my God, I'm
scraping bowls, batter. Oh God. So I was like, all right, we need to hire people.
It's hard work.
Immediately. So hard.
It's hard work.
Yeah. And
Like-
just to make cupcakes, and we've got like 12 people on staff just for the one production. And then when we had the other stores, we had more. But
Wow.
yeah, this is crazy.
And you guys, I forgot, you are only in Middletown right now.
Only in Middletown now.
But you did have the West Hartford location.
Did have the West Hartford location.
And Canton at one
And
point.
Canton.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Canton seems like a hard market. Just like it's just like I
It's
love.
difficult.
Yeah, it's just like I lived in Avon, right at the end of Lovely Street for a while, and it's basically Canton. And I just remember being like, wow, like there's a certain kind of people live out here. It's really different.
I mean, I feel like it's so interesting because they're so close, West Hartford and Avon Can, obviously. I mean, it's just that mountain, right?
Yeah.
It's like that mountain is
The dividing
the
line.
dividing wall.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I learned a lot in the last year about opening and what markets work for us and what markets don't, and what kind of landlords do I want in the future, and I don't know. Like, and do I want to build out again the way I built those stores out, or do I want to build another production facility? And just, you don't. But this is the thing, like West Hartford, definite success for
Yeah.
multiple reasons. Canton, not a success. But if I hadn't have done it, I wouldn't have known it wasn't going to be a
And you
success.
wouldn't have learned anything.
And I wouldn't have learned a thing. So now I feel like, I've pulled back. I'm like retrenching and I'm figuring out what direction I want to go in next with the staff. But I feel smarter and I feel more
Totally.
creative, which is a good place to be. And this whole entrepreneur thing is about having balls. So if
Taking
I hadn't-
risks.
taking risks,
Right,
so
and just power through it when
Right.
it's not easy.
When it's
'cause
not
So many
easy.
people just give up and
Don't,
they're like,
right.
"Meh, I'm not doing it anymore." And
Right.
it's like nothing is gonna be easy. You
Right.
just have to commit to it and follow through.
And it's wicked scary. I mean, like where we were at the end of the year when we closed the stores and where we are now, like this is a scary place to be in right now for us. But I feel really confident about it and really good about it. So I'm not scared in that way. I'm just scared and like, whoo, this whole owning your own business thing is,
Yeah.
it's beating me up every day. But, I know we're going to get through the tough times of it. And I can already see the positive coming out of it. So that's kind of what is keeping me going through it. So, yeah, I'm glad we did it. And I'm glad it's over.
I get anxiety every month. I even write my own check for my rent on my apartment. And I always think about my friends that have like these places and like these restaurants and like these storefronts. And it's just like,
Crazy bills.
and it's just like, oh yeah. And they have all these bills and it's just like gas, electric, heat for a whole nother thing that they don't even live in. And it's just like, it gives me anxiety. And like, you know
Me
what I mean?
too.
I would have to have like a partner or something, but it takes a lot. I give a lot to people that work in that capacity. That's like, it is scary, but like now you're a pro.
Oh, I mean, are you ever a pro about getting beat up though? I mean, like, I feel, like I said, I feel smarter about the future and what we would do in the future. And I feel good about where we are in Middletown. I've always felt good about Middletown. So that's like home, you know? And, you know, the other stores were great for what they were. West Hartford was great for what it was. Canton was a learning lesson.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
live and learn.
at one point you had 3 locations.
Yeah,
doing
for a whole year.
cupcakes.
For
and
a whole
think,
year.
I think that says a lot. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and all in the same area.
Yeah.
So that was kind of stupid.
Well,
But
whatever. If you wanted to do a city or a place, so if like you had to pick like the map of Connecticut and be like, all right, I'm gonna put a store.
Where am I
here,"
going next?
Where would you think you'd go?
I mean, so when we were closing West Hartford, Leanne from The Current called and I gave her an interview about, you know, how we were closing and the details of that. And in that article, I must have said something along the lines of like, we're always open to options. We're always open to like, you know, what people want. So of course, that's when all the emails start coming in of like, oh, we own this property and blah, blah, blah. And would you like to come and see it? Blah, 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 blah. So it's like, I've got invitations to go to these places, but I'm just trying to
That doesn't mean that they're the best.
No, and before when we opened West Hartford, we got a ton of that stuff because you know you're in West Hartford now, so you've quote unquote made it, right?
Yeah.
So you're in the food mecca. So we got a ton of invitations after we opened in West Hartford, and I got very glamored by that of being like, oh, they want us here, they want us there, we should go there, we should go here.
Blueback, bitch.
We're gonna be everywhere. Yeah.
Yeah.
And no. So now I like Middletown's feel. I like Main Street America. I don't want to be in a mall again or any type of plaza, or I don't want to play by anyone's rules either. Like you open up in these plazas and they're like, you have to be open every day, 9 a.m. because that's when the mall's open. It doesn't work that.
See, you had the mall location too.
Well, no, like mall,
Like the
meaning
shopping
the
plaza.
shopping
Oh,
plaza.
you're
Yeah.
speaking of
Yeah.
the shops on Route 44.
Right. The
Okay.
shops or Blueback has rules too. Like they
Yeah.
all have rules because these are destinations,
Yeah.
right? So you have to play by their rules. I don't want to do that again.
No.
So I play by my rules now.
Good.
Yeah. So we'll see. We have a couple thoughts, but this year will be no retail storefront growth for Nora. This will just be a creative year.
You have one truck?
We have one truck and one trailer.
Okay.
So
Cool.
yeah, that'll be out,
Awesome.
both of them.
You used to do the thing at the Coventry Farmers Market out of the trailer that was like not cupcakes. What the hell was it?
The s'mores
s'mores. Oh man.
Oh, I don't know about this.
Oh my god.
So good.
One season.
I got a blueberry s'more
They were
or something
so
like that.
good.
Oh my god.
Wow.
I got
So
one like every
good.
Sunday. I
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
so into them.
So
Yeah.
it's really good. We had brought the cupcake truck to Coventry as like a guest for the first year that we were in business. And at that time, correct me if I'm wrong, Winter, food trucks not really on the scene and not on the scene in markets.
Right.
And I'll never forget it. We roll up to the market. You come over to us and you're like, well, it's a cupcake truck with skulls. I love it. And I was like, oh, thank God. Because I was like, I had heard horror stories about like what you say goes. And if you don't like her, like she's leaving.
I love that.
And I was just like,
Standards,
oh my God. Like, I just didn't know what to expect at all. And we we showed out with like our best stuff. And like we brought figgy blue cheese cupcakes with like fig preserves and walnuts and blue cheese frosting. Because I was like, I don't know what's going to go here. So, and we became like regulars at the market that year as a guest. And then I had bought a trailer because the truck was so old when we got it and just falling apart every weekend. And I remember it was a wedding down in Old Lyme on these people's like estate property, and the truck died on the way there. It was the 4th of July. I had to rent a minivan, so I showed up with a minivan and a banner to a wedding. It was awful. So I had to get a trailer. So I got this trailer, and I say to Winter at the end of the season, I'm like, I got this trailer. I might do something with it. I don't know. I'm thinking maybe like a vegan thing, or I don't know. And then I was like, no, we make marshmallows. Maybe, I don't know. And then I think you were like, you should do s'mores. And I was like, oh, I'll do s'mores. So we just created this whole s'mores caboose.
Oh, that sounds
where we
so
literally,
good.
we made marshmallows, all kinds. And then we would just bake cakes instead of graham crackers, like thin cakes. and then we would put different sauces on them, and we'd serve them in like little boats. But we would toast the marshmallows with these like blowtorches,
Right
like
there.
Right there,
on
right,
site.
right.
It was
'Cause
great.
You can't.
It's showy too.
Oh yeah, and
Yeah.
people
It was great.
loved
People are
it.
like standing there like a little kid. Like, oh my God. Like,
Yeah.
Do you remember when you guys did that shrimp cupcake?
Yeah,
What was it? It was shrimp cornbread?
it was a cornbread. It was for one of your markets. It was like a
Yep.
seafood social or something.
Yep.
And we did like a shrimp and grits type cupcake with goat cheese frosting and candied asparagus.
Yeah,
on
there's
top.
a piece of asparagus over the top.
Wow.
Dude, I remember.
Yeah.
This was probably how long? Like 4 years ago? 5
Probably.
years?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I remember going there, and it was so hot out.
It was so hot.
And I remember like eating my way through the farmer's market. And then I got to the thing and I was like, I'm going to get the weirdest one. And I was like, shrimp? All right, let's see what this is all about.
Did you like it?
So the thing is, like, by the time I had gotten it in my hand,
gross.
it's like 101. I'm sweating and like I'm nauseous from all the food I had just eaten, and I was like, why did I buy this fucking cupcake? And I walked all the way to the car to leave, and I put on the air conditioner, and I was like revived and brought back to life, and I was like, and I like
You ate it.
killed it. I killed it in my car, and I was with like an ex-girlfriend, and she was looking at me. She's like, "You're so fucking gross." Blah blah blah. I was like, "You don't even fucking know. This shit was good." You know what I mean? Yeah.
All right.
It was funny.
It had a little Old Bay in there, I think. Yeah.
It was totally something that you could like, do at a restaurant, like, or as like a savory thing.
Yeah.
The Thanksgiving cupcake is still one of my
I
faves.
know, I love that one,
I love
too.
those.
Oh wow, I didn't even know that was a thing.
Stuffing, cranberry.
Wow.
Yep. We do everything but the turkey. So it's a cornbread craisin cake that we fill with stuffing, and then we pipe on mashed potatoes, and then we throw on chives and
There's
the
little
the
onions.
turkey onions.
Right?
Yeah.
Oh, the
fried little
onions.
yeah.
Oh my god.
And then we tell people like, nuke it, heat it up, throw some gravy on it
Oh my
with
God.
some leftover
It was
turkey.
crazy
It's
good.
like ridiculous.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
What's
So-
the last savory cupcake you guys did?
Well, actually, so we started to do with this whole like revamp of the menu. We started to do savory Saturdays, just because when you put them out on like a Tuesday, people are like,
Yeah.
And we were running chicken and waffles for the last 6 weeks, and then this past Saturday, we did beefcakes, which is my favorite. It's again a cornbread based cake that we make with beef broth, and we roast garlic and we chop that up and we throw that in there, and then we fill it with a caramelized onion and fig preserve.
Oh my god.
And then we do goat cheese frosting with a reduced balsamic vinaigrette, and then a roasted garlic clove
Holy
on top.
crap.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
But it's like a very acquired taste.
Yeah.
Like most people are like, I really just want chocolate, and then,
yeah, it's different.
It's
no,
different.
It's a different thing. I would
but
get both.
I love it. I love them.
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's very cool. And you're not gonna find that from like the any other cupcake maker.
No, probably not.
Yeah.
But there's a reason. I mean, we'll probably sell 12 of them this weekend. It's not like it's a big mover, but I enjoy it because I enjoy the marketing of being like, hey,
Boom.
we do this
Yep.
too.
Yeah.
But it's also
Right,
about
something
like
different.
Yeah.
and it's about like the
The shock value.
no, getting it out there. Like
Yeah.
somebody be like, yo, Nora did this damn shrimp cupcake.
Right,
right,
And it
right.
kind of like moves through the people because
Right,
it's
like
an
the
Right.
interesting thing to talk
Right.
about.
Right.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
Good for you.
Thanks.
I love it. Ladies,
Yes.
what can we expect from either? Well, let's go to you. What do you got going on? It's 2018. It's a new year. You are like building.
A lot. Yeah. Well, so we have the Perón and Pina that's slated to open sometime in April, which is in Hartford, which
So excited.
I'm really excited about. I know, kind of bringing it back to the capital city. Hopefully, bring in some more people, revive it a little bit. It sounds like a really exciting project. I'm excited to go over there because I have a full bake shop. There's
Yeah.
a completely separate
Oh, right.
pastry
That's
kitchen.
awesome.
Which is really cool. So the idea is to kind of like commissary like the baked goods out of there
Yep.
and do like a little donut shop, coffee shop on the corner where
Much needed.
very just like a fun kind of like morning, get your coffee, get some donuts, some breakfast pastries. I think it was called Sidebar.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. It's a pretty
Sidebar.
space. Yeah.
Yeah, so that'll be there in the morning, and then they want to do like a
Was that the old red plate?
I don't know.
It's down to walk down the sidewalk the other way, and it's on the corner, right?
It's part of the Goodwin Hotel
Yes.
structure.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's right on the corner there.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep. But I'm just excited for more space because right now, Kristin and I are doing everything out of Millwrights. So like all the biscuits. I mean, we're sending over like, I don't know, like almost 2,000 biscuits a week to the Cook and the Bear.
Wow.
Just the two of us are producing. So,
yeah.
and that's it, you know, in addition to
already
the
heard.
larger picture of everything else.
Right.
So
Yeah.
it'll be nice to kind of get over there and get some people trained over there and,
Yes.
you know, create kind of like a larger team to support everything. But I mean, I'm excited. It'll be a cool project. The Cook and the Bear is going awesome. Like I said, I love doing the desserts over there, the banana puddings, and
Which is phenomenal.
thank you.
So
That's my-
well, you know
that's
what's
my
so
favorite.
funny
Me
is
too.
I was thinking about taking that off and changing
No,
it.
Don't.
And then I was
no.
like, I feel like that's a staple.
It is
now.
a staple.
I'm like,
and not a
that's-
lot of places do it or do it well.
I know. I'm
have
like,
to
so
have that.
Yeah.
I'm definitely not gonna change that.
Good. Thank you.
What's the other one? The brown.
Now that it's confirmed.
the brown butter cake, or what's the other one that's like a slice of pie? Brown.
So I changed the pie a couple times. I did like a shoe fly pie.
Yes.
Ed is from Pennsylvania, and that's
Yep.
like a very Pennsylvania Dutch type dessert. So I did that for a couple months, and then in the fall did like a pumpkin pie. And right now I have like a thin mint chocolate mousse pie on there with a peppermint bark, which will be changing soon.
Yeah.
Probably do like a lemon meringue with like graham
Yum.
cracker, something kind of
Yep.
like transition into spring.
Yep.
And I like changing the panna cotta often too. That's the gluten-free option there. You know, just switching up like the fruit flavors and whatever topping, and it's fun. You know, you wake up in the morning and you're like, oh, I want to, you know, try this out and send it over. And with the donut shop coming up, Kristin and I have been doing like a lot of donut testing. So we've been doing like
If you
different
need a-
doughs.
If you need a taste tester,
You let me know.
I know.
I'm beating you there.
we'll go together.
Fine.
So far, we've been doing a lot of testing on Saturday afternoons.
Good to know.
Okay.
So if anybody's in the area, then. But yeah, that's been really fun. You know, going through like books and reading things and kind of, you know, sparks like that new like, oh, this is really fun. Like I've got like a new thing to focus on. But so far we're doing, I think we're gonna put on the menu like a lemon poppy or like a yuzu and poppy type donut, like a
Very
Greek
cool.
donut,
Sounds great.
and
Very cool.
do like a couple different style brioche donuts with some different glazes.
Dude, can you do me
This is
one
going to be its
favor?
own destination.
Me one favor.
I know I'm very excited
Yeah,
about the
Please,
morning.
at one point when you're set up and you got a little bit of a minute to try to like maybe experiment with something,
Yeah.
please do a cronut.
A cronut.
Please.
I will.
I love a cronut.
Okay.
And texture of a cronut.
Yeah.
light and fluffy.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
gosh.
So that's the croissant donut,
Croissant
right?
donut,
Okay, yeah.
yeah.
So I recently went into the city like a couple weeks ago, and I finally got a cronut. Like after all the years of now, you know,
Cronutting.
the hype of it and the lines, and I'm like, there's no way I'm
There's
standing
two
in the line.
spots down
I
there.
just
What was the place you went to?
Dominique Ansel.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's that
bakery.
place and there's another place that's like the definition of a cronut. Do not go get them from Stu Leonard's because they have them like at 6-pack. It's
Nuh-uh.
nothing like that one. You need a real cronut. And they had so many flavors. Yes, please.
Well, I finally did get one, and it was delicious.
What flavor?
It had like a pear jam inside of it, and then it had like a lavender glaze, and then it had kind of like a lavender like herb sugar around it. So
Holy cow.
it was like a lot. Like
A lot of lavender.
yeah, a lot of lavender, a lot of like just kind of, you know, a little sweet. Like I think I only ate half of it and saved the other half for later. Just because they're rich. I mean, we're talking about
Yeah.
croissant dough, so puff pastry that's then fried and sugared and filled. But yeah, excellent. So
Awesome.
definitely I will
Keep
work
me-
on that.
Keep me in your thoughts.
Yes.
Awesome. Yeah, and that's in the Goodwin Hotel. Are they going to actually change the name of the hotel, or will it always be like Perón and Pina at the Goodwin?
It'll be Perón and Pina at the Goodwin. Yeah, the Goodwin is kind of its own entity, and then the restaurant and the donut shop bar are inside of it, but separate at the same time.
Cool.
I don't know. Have you been in there? It's beautiful.
I go with Meg every once in a while when she has to meet Tyler.
Really nice.
And I had to go drop off a bunch of artwork that he like bid on and won.
Awesome.
I had to go to like there's a girl at the desk and she's like, where do I put this? And I like packed it on into some closet and had to like text him that it was in there. Yeah. And the thing is like I've lived in Hartford from like 98 all the way on and off till today, and it's like I don't think I ever walked into the building once.
I had never been there either, and now with like the new project, I'm over there, not a crazy amount of time yet, but the building is just so beautiful.
Yeah.
They had to do something with it. Somebody had to have grabbed it up and do something with it because it's just too cool and nice to like let sit there without anything happening.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Yeah,
building.
absolutely.
I'm psyched for you guys. I can't wait to go down there.
Yeah.
And it's going to be Spanish tapas, correct?
Yeah, the restaurant.
Yeah.
Yep. And then I think they're going to do like a ham bar, like happy hour stuff in the side, the other corner of it where the donut shop's going to be in the morning. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of moving parts. So, it'll come together and it'll be like a really fun, exciting thing to bring to Hartford, in addition to the West Hartford Cook and the Bear spot. And I will always love Millwrights more than anything.
That's the flagship.
It is the flagship.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, AJ and Tyler can't have more than one moving part at any time. It's got to be 20, 30.
More than that. Yeah, and you better get on the train.
That's so funny.
I'm waiting for you.
I tell both of them, I was like, you guys take up more than my fiance's time than I do. Like, they have more conversations where they're on the phone. Like, it's so funny. I'm like, you talking to your boyfriend?
Yeah,
Tyler?
your other boyfriend?
Yeah, you're talking to your other boyfriend?
Right?
Okay, cool. Tell him I said hi. So funny.
Right.
Cool. Very cool. All right. Last but not least, what are we going to see from you in 2018?
So Connecticut Food and Farm magazine continues to publish quarterly. It is free. We are for the small amount of budget that we actually have, we are funded by a 501c3 nonprofit organization. So our magazine is beautiful. It is free, available digitally to anybody. They can download the entire issue or an article. And there's really no advertising. So it's amazing. ctfoodandfarm.com. They can click on the magazine tab, go in through there. They can join the mailing list, and it is emailed to them each time it's published. So that's going to come out again today that we are having this podcast, Tuesday. It'll be coming out.
Look at that.
I know, right? Full
brought it
circle, dude.
Look at that. I'll be sure to write that into the description.
And for Connecticut Food and Farm, the photography side, the commercial photography side, I made the decision this year. I was really super, wonderfully super busy last year with paid work. And I missed some of the things that I look forward to photographing that are agricultural or food stories that there will never be a budget to hire somebody. And high at the top of that list is fairs with a true agricultural component.
Yeah.
Super, super important. FFA, 4-H,
Right.
This is the training ground for the next generation of.
Not the biggie.
No, not the big.
I tell you what, man.
Although, you know what? You watch all these little fairs, when someone's worried about their fried Oreo or whatever, and over somewhere else is like the working steers.
Yeah.
And maybe you walk by there, you look for a little bit. If you sit down and watch, what those judges are doing in every one of those rings is preparing those kids to compete at a higher level. And for Connecticut, the higher level is the Big E.
Right.
So you'll see them say over and over again, I like the way you clip the steer's legs back nice and clean, but at the Big E, we're at the next level. So it's pretty interesting to watch. So I have 5 fairs on tap that I'll be photographing. Most of them are more than one day. So I kind of just look through the schedule, but I may spend in excess of 30 hours at those fairs. And all those images are shared on Con Food and Farm is my Instagram handle, and also Facebook. I use Con Food and Farm as well, Connecticut Food and Farm, and those tend to be larger sets of images. But it's a really nice way to see what's happening behind the scenes at Connecticut fairs, and again, just being who I am, I get to go places and see things that maybe not everyone can see normally. So that's pretty cool.
Yep.
Brooklyn Ag Days coming up in June. I'll cover that. So it's just really neat agricultural stories. And also for the business, I am renovating a barn on my property this year.
Ooh,
Wow.
that's exciting.
Food
Finally.
photography studio, where a chef could come, a food maker could come, finish a dish. Not a full commercial kitchen, but a prep kitchen. Also with like refrigeration, so I can hold product, and photograph. But I want Connecticut makers to have access to the kind of food photography that competes with New York level. And what I've been doing is working out of any space, loading up my car with every prop, which is everything from, boards with gorgeous old blue paint to vintage tins and just really neat stuff. But ideally, you want to have all of your stuff with you in a place where it's lighting that you understand, and you also have the basic culinary stuff to be able to do a simple dish from start to finish, but probably to finish a dish, so that if a chef wants to be photographed in that way, or we want to whatever, that it's all going to be there. So this is the year we're moving product photography ahead for Connecticut.
Awesome.
It's very cool.
Very, very cool. Well, ladies,
Carrie, you didn't tell us what's coming up for you.
I did.
Yeah, she started.
I started.
Oh, great.
I do really. There's nothing.
How about your little pop-ups? I love those.
We
I
do
too.
Yeah. So we do one a month where we invite a guest food truck or chef, a guest DJ, and then a guest artist, and we just feature this whole where food, music, and art come together. And it's usually on a Monday night. And they're just tons of fun. You come in, we take your orders at the counter. We run it like a restaurant. The chef is usually outside cooking out of their truck or their space. And then we put a fun, almost like a tasting menu. We try to keep the bites small because we find that most people that are coming in are wanting to try more than one thing. So they come in and they order, and then there's a DJ and there's art, and the artist is selling stuff. And our next one is the 26th, and it will be with the Way Station. We're featuring her a lot because she just won Chopped, so we're doing So she's going to be doing some menu items that she actually created on Chopped. She'll feature them at the pop that we're doing, and then it's DJ Rex from Hot 93.7, and the artist is still yet to be determined. So
Awesome.
yeah,
It's good to know because I got a couple of people I could throw at you for that.
For
as
the
far
artists?
as artists,
Please
DJs,
do.
and I know.
please do.
Yeah, my buddy Chumzilla.
Oh, yeah,
come up. You know Chum, right?
I know. I met him through Joey Bats.
Yeah.
Yep.
He's my DJ. He
Okay.
DJs for me and a couple other people, but he was working at the engine room for the longest time because he's a chef and a DJ.
He's down in the New London area.
He's from
right?
New London.
That's
yep.
what I thought.
Yeah,
Yep.
he's a fun guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't mean mushroom. Oh shit! Sorry. Oh man. Well, it has been nothing but a goddamn pleasure.
Same.
to
I know.
have-
Thank you for having us.
Oh,
Yeah.
why
absolutely.
not? Why not? I want to do more of these roundtable things with stuff like this. This is very exciting for me, and I have some real crazy conversations with people, and I thought this went really, really well, and I think everybody's really going to enjoy it. It's probably
Good.
going to be. It's probably going to make Tuesday of next week the funnest day of the week.
Yeah.
Who would have ever thought that Tuesday would be a cool day?
We all need that, bummer after Monday. And,
Yeah.
you need a little pick-me-up.
And don't ask me why I thought to do it on that day. I really don't know why.
It's smart because people are listening on
Yeah.
Tuesdays. They aren't paying attention on Friday, Saturday, or Sundays, really.
And I always geared it to people that have to ride to work a far drive. You know what I
Yep.
mean? So, yeah.
Yeah.
But thank you for everything, ladies.
Thank
I
you.
really
Thank
appreciate
you.
it.
Ben.
Yeah.
And we'll all keep in touch.
Sounds good.
All right?
Okay.
All right. Thank
Thanks.
you.
Thank you.
Yo, give me meat, lean us in the street, trimming off the fat like a butcher on the beat. The butcher from the beat. See me in the city, but I moved to the burbs and left the ass on South Whitney. 0 fucks given, 666 winning. Money in the black and my shoes all fitting. Crew all clicking like ping pong. No, we don't sing songs. Everybody else is a ding dong. Thawing out, let me see them cheeks. Then she took her mask off and let me see them teeth. Matters of the heart, no, I don't sweat that. 13 on the wrist, shoulda def kept that. I did what I did and I saw what I saw. I am what I am and you are what you are. It is what it is. I do this for the kids. This is real rap shit. Ben Grimm and Rob Vick. Take a peek, go outside. The world didn't end and we all still live. Baby, suck it up. Please don't cry. You got some more years to your bitch ass life. Take a peek, go outside. The world didn't end and we all still live. Baby, suck it up. Please don't cry. You got some more years to your bitch ass life. Big screen rap, you could 3D that. Yo, I got 5 mics that I stole way back. Butterscotch fat, Tanimal, stray cats, 2 feet on stage while you rappers stay whack. Stupid stay back, bout to blow like an A-bomb. Everybody coming cause I'm burning with the napalm. Agent Orange with the script, but they ain't Chris. Cats putting C's on they arm, now they ain't shit. Famous, no Trap Barker. Banger in the closet and a hawk in my Parker. No cosign from a rapper in my sector. Eat your fucking face like my last name Lecter. First name Ben with 2 N's on it. Born 730, motherfucker, who want it? Stuck on stupid, parked on dumb. Choking bitches out, 8 fingers, 2 thumbs. Take a peek, go outside. The world didn't end and we all still live. Baby, suck it up, please don't cry. You got some more years to your bitch ass life. Take a peek, go outside. The world didn't end and we all still live. Baby, suck it up, please don't cry. You got some more years to your bitch ass life. Get ready for the play-by-play. 1/3 misery, that's my day by day. Metal on the west, Timmy on the shoreline. Me, I'm sitting here with my pen writing more rhymes. No clones, wartime manner. Taking out the fakes with a ball-peen hammer. Gone bananas, losing all my nuggets. Another 2012 just to drop in the bucket. Genie lamp, rub it, knock on wood. I'm chilling in my mid-30s, but my shit's all good. It's a cold world, how you gon' heat it? Music is a hungry mouth, how you gon' feed it? Hip-hop cookie cutters, no I don't need them. Had my own shit since my 9-4 season. I am the reason this rap shit has happened. In the 860, motherfucker, now that's it. Take a peek, go outside. The world didn't end and we all still live. Baby, suck it up, please don't cry. You got some more years to your bitch ass life. Take a peek, go outside. The world didn't end and we all still live. Baby, suck it up, please don't cry. You got some more years to your bitch ass life.